Hey, what's up, good people? We're back for another special episode of the replay, and we're here to make your day. And joining me as usual, I got my guys, I got my crew, I got my man D.A. Darrell Alexander the Great. Also, this corn husker, Nebraska corn husker, that is. My man, Mr. Tim Jackson, is in the house too. Let me bring him to the stage. There he is, my boy TJ.
Oh.
And of course, I got none other than my man Jeff Booker, the barber, one of the baddest barbers in the DFW. What it is, Booker?
What's up, baby? Booker T. I'm going live.
We're going live.
I'm going live.
Y'all don't care what DA say, y'all. Y'all know how we gonna do it. 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
Here we go. There you go, DA.
There you
I know
go.
you ain't liking it.
There you go.
I can live with that. We'll give that, man.
Man, I watched the game on mute where I was yesterday. I ain't have to hear it not one time.
Don't start it, DA.
That's okay.
Don't start it, DA.
So, man, episode 16 on the replay. I'm your host, Jabril Rashad. As I said, man, I got my family, my brothers here, man. We're going to get into this Cowboys-Bills game, man. But before we do that, make sure y'all hit the subscribe, like, and share button, okay? Please hit the subscribe, like, and share button. We are growing this channel, and we're doing this great content, bringing it to you all in the real. So I'm going to go ahead and get straight into it, guys. Tim and I, we had a chance to talk about it again after we was doing this special edition on Friday. The special edition wound up just being an edition. Wasn't nothing special about it. However, we was able to still talk about the game. And I told Tim at the outset, I said, you know what, man? I know this is just a heart pick because in my gut, I said, I think you playing a desperate team in the Buffalo Bills. You're playing a desperate team. You're going in a hostile environment, and they back so against the wall, and they are playing for their playoff lives. You understand? So I just didn't think that the Cowboys was going to match that intensity. But I'll cover a little bit more of that, man. But I'm gonna come to Booker first, man, on this one because I know Booker, man. He's ready to go live last night. I know he had a little bit, but had a lot to say.
Well, Jabril, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was going into this game, man. I was already a little lyric about the Cowboys, but I just was going with my heart, just hoping they pulled through. But with the weather condition like they was, and I just think that the Cowboys, we don't play good in elements like that. I mean, I don't know the D line, the running game, and it looked like to me they ran that Denver style of blocking scheme on us, and they kind of let Michael Parsons and just I don't know, man. We just wasn't into the game last night. We just couldn't get it going. It just wasn't our day, and even with the offense, we just had a bad day, man. And with the weather being the way it was, man, I kind of expected it. We had won 5 games in a row. We were due for a loss. So, I don't want to sound like I'm being biased that, I'd rather just go ahead and just take that loss now because it really didn't really hurt us. You know what I'm saying? We really still sitting in a good spot. So we go ahead and take that L right now because, like you said, Buffalo was playing for everything, man. They had everything out on the lines, man, so they just called us with our guards down, man. Had a good blocking scheme for the defense, man. They ran the ball real well on us, man. And they were just a better team that day, man. We just got caught with our pants down.
Yeah, well, Tim, help me out here a little bit, Tim, because like I said, we had a brief discussion on this, man, and I knew I had my take on it. What was your assessment of what you saw, man? Because as I put on the thing, man, these doggone Buffalo Bills, man, they manhandle our front. They did. Our front.
Yeah, what's funny about it is, it's kind of what we said. We said the show on Friday. It's the special edition with your birthday included as well too. So right. That's what made it special. So it still was special regardless. That was a special day. So on that day, we talked about a little bit what going in. Some of the things that Dallas needed to do in order to be successful in that game. And one was be focused and be intense. And they didn't have the intensity or the focus long enough. They had it. Now, see, people think they don't have it at all. No, they had it. They didn't have it long enough. And the focus, all 11 got to have it. It can't be 10. It can't be 9. It got to be all 11. all 22, or you can say as well too. You're talking about defense and offense. All 22 got to have that focus and have that intensity. And in moments, some guys lacked it, and then some guy was doing something stupid. I know you want to protect your quarterback, right?
Right.
Let's get team more yards.
Right.
That's right.
Instead of you running into him, why you running to him? You can get in his face without running into him. I mean, that's silliness. You know, why do it on that play? Why you can get him later? Because you playing offense against his defense, so you can get him later. Ain't no reason to make that play. And then, you know, that was key elements of different moments in time. But I can go into that, and we'll probably get a chance to get into it. But the key was they got smacked in the mouth, like you said, got smacked in the mouth. And the rookie, he defensive tackle. Smith. Yeah, Smith, he played solid, meaning that he held his position, but he don't know how to get off blocks. He don't make plays yet. He don't know how to make a play. He's still just playing whatever he's supposed to do. He got washed down, right? So they left a big opening hole, and then our linebackers are too small. They keep getting sealed. It gets easily sealed because they're so little. They can't get around people. Yeah, they can't push nobody. You know, remember Ray Lewis? You ain't run a lineman running Ray Lewis. He run backwards. So we ain't got no linebackers, man. We ain't got no.
Well, we got
a bunch of safeties.
We gonna get to that in a second because you know I talked about this earlier on the pre-show. But let me come to DA right quick. DA, what's your assessment on it? What did you see?
I saw something I didn't think Buffalo had that kind of mindset to where they got a quarterback who's in the MVP talk, but they just said to themselves, we ain't even gonna use you tonight, and if we do, it's gonna be mostly with your legs. Like we're gonna push these boys around. I don't know if that was their total game plan or if they just realized, hey man, it's working and we're not gonna go away from it. Let's just keep doing it until they can stop it. It's like they did one of those Bill Belichick moves. Remember whenever Bill Belichick found something that would beat you, he wouldn't go away from it. And if you didn't stop, that's what he was gonna do the whole game. And I didn't know the Cowboys linebackers were that small until I saw it on some sports show earlier. I'm like, these dudes like barely over 2,000. Like they weren't small. They weren't really linebackers. And they just pushing them around. And you could have never paid me to believe that Josh Allen would only throw 15 passes against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think he only threw like 7 passes or something to that effect of completing like 92 yards. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it.
It's like 7 or 15 or something like that.
Yeah, what they
lined up and ran the ball.
Yeah, what they basically did was something that I talked about early on the show in previous week regarding our linebackers. And I kept saying they pretty much, why other teams have exploited this is unbeknownst to me, right? But I felt like I said it early on, maybe last month or so. I said Desmond Clark now have not been exploited. They just haven't. And then you move Marquise Bell, who's really a safety down in the box, who's only 200 pounds. He can fight and get around blocks or whatever, but when you get man on a man, as they say, pad on a pad, it's just difficult. Man, they snowboard these boys all the way down. Big number 73, I think Dawkins for the Buffalo Bills, got up on Clark so fast and took him and drove him down clear into the end zone to where he was injured. And I want to show some of these because I said I did a real brief assessment of the game that I posted last night. And I said, the Cowboys actually lost this game to me in the first quarter. Some of the stupid penalties that we got, mistakes that was made. We could have actually, man, been in this ball game because the punters were seeing the field at first. But I got a couple of plays that really set the tone for me that I want us to go back over because the way they came out and drove this, man. Let me see if I can bring it to. Hold on just a second. The way they came out, this is the first time I'm running the ball. Boom. Right there, Damone Clark now, man, they 7 yards off the play. He come right back running again. And they kept running to the left because that's where Bale is. They just got a pad on a pad. And they pushed this guy for another 8 to 9 yards. See, that's just mono on a mono.
But not only that, they wouldn't even get on the ground. They wouldn't grab his legs. They stayed up high. Nobody want to get wet.
Right.
Yeah, I told you the Cowboys don't like playing in these type of elements.
They come back, man, and they play action. This is a beautiful call game by Brady, Joe Brady, by the way.
Right.
They come back. All these runs is to our left side where they knew Bell was at. A 200-pound safety that's playing down in the box. I think even this play on the touchdown, Latavius Bell. See, he cut toward the left. This is all scheme, bro.
That's right.
All scheme. And in a lot
Well,
of
Hooker was out the game too. So is that the reason why he had him down? Because Hooker was out the game?
No, let me say this about Hooker. Let me say this about Malik Hooker. Hooker don't give you the best chance. So if you're asking me, he don't give you the best chance when a team have made up their mind to run the football. Donovan Wilson does. Because he's more of a safety, come downhill type
safety. Right.
But Wilson, he's not as great in the pass defense as a Malik Hooker supposed to be. So this game is really, Dan Quinn, to me, did not make the necessary adjustments, man. He never made the adjustment. This was all scheme. Hats off to Buffalo Bills, and I say the interim offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, who actually won, national championship with LSU. Left LSU, went to the Carolina Panthers, and then he found his way over to the Buffalo Bills, because they really fired their offensive coordinator, I think, a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So he's just the interim offensive coordinator. So for him to come and out scheme Dan Quinn the way he did, it just says a lot. And we've been getting away with the same thing, the same argument I've been talking about with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm gonna make the same argument with the Dallas Cowboys. We've been getting away with it. You think you would have learned when we went on the road and played the San Francisco 49ers, but obviously the middle of our defense, man, has a lot of problems, Tim. Has a lot of problems. What's your assessment?
Yeah, I was thinking about what you're saying. What they did most was ran on the edges. So actually the big guys held their spots. They never penetrated, but they held the guys up that was coming through. But then, of course, this lineman came up. Once they got to the second level, to the linebacker level, like you see, they sealed them. They washed them out. They pushed them all the way to the end zone. They flat pancaked them. They moved them everywhere, and they did it also on the edges, right off the guard and the tackle. Most of the time, they ran the ball either the guard between the guard and the tackle or outside the tackle. So those are the two lanes. They didn't run between the guard and the center that often because our big guy was holding their spots. So they kept running on them edges over there, and Dallas did not fortify the area, and they was overloading those areas as well too. So they would watch everybody. If the safeties came up, they had bigger guys on them, and they just pushing them away. So you were definitely right on that. It was totally schemed. He needed to scheme that better. And they had some other linebackers. They need to put that boy back in there that didn't play, Evans. I don't know why they didn't put him in the game. They would have helped. He's good against the run. He plays well against the run. So one of the things that Dallas to kind of get why Dallas has been doing this and why they think they can get away with is this. Usually the offense scores. Now we own the defense right now. We can stay on the defense because they played pathetic. But the offense was pathetic as well. They did not play well. They did not drive the ball. They kept making mistakes and shoot themselves in the foot. So every time they would do something, they would back themselves back up. They would have in position to score a touchdown. They backed themselves back out of that and got the field goal to make it 7-3 or 14-3. And then they just kept doing things to actually keep washing themselves back out by making mistakes, holding penalties at the wrong time, offside. No matter what it was, they was making a mistake all day long. And then, of course, those guys, that zone on defense, the zone that Buffalo was running, they was getting pressure with four guys, and every once in a while they run a fifth, and they was zoning the heck out of Dallas, and Dallas receivers could not find the zone. Could not find the open spot in the zone. They were getting killed with the zone.
Well, without question, Dallas offense, speaking of Dallas offense, they was very pedestrian-like. And, I think our receivers became defensive backs because there was probably about 4 or 5 interceptions that Dak could actually have thrown.
Yes.
But, after that first drive that they scored a touchdown on, I'm going to show us, we're going to get into that here in just a second here. But after that drive right there, Dallas came back. They came back and was moving the ball. But then mistakes started to happen, like you say. I thought, now this right here, this is the mistake what we was talking about when Zach Martin came over and bumped the guy. Now you got a penalty.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see that.
Yeah. See, they did it twice. Buffalo actually did that twice. I think the second time that guy should have been thrown out of the game. Dodgers, the one that played safety for the Buffalo Bills, because that was a head-to-head. He should have been ejected, but they didn't eject him. But Dallas is moving the ball. You see Tony Pollard. It's a good run downfield up the middle. It's a great run on Tony Pollard part. But then here come the mistakes. You got a 3rd down and 14. And Dak couldn't get up out of it, man. And this is
holding
This is
penalty.
why I kind of think it went downhill. 3rd and 14, he runs right back. Steele, of course, didn't stay with Lord on that play. He runs right
I think
back.
he held that ball too long right there.
Well, nobody was open. That's the problem.
But look here, that's right up the
Yeah,
middle.
all the receivers was covered.
One thing about Dak, man, you're gonna notice when he gets in these kind of games, he don't let
He
it fly
rattled.
like he does at home. At home, he gonna let it fly. He gonna
Now right here,
he gonna
now,
take
right here,
chances in a way.
the score is 7-0, and we stopped them on 3rd down. It's 7-0. After this play right here is where it started to go downhill.
Yeah, there was a dumb penalty, very
And he
dumb
blocked
penalty.
that punt instead of getting the rough and the kicker, because we were changing punts. If he had just stayed on his feet,
He was close enough to even tackle it. He could have tackled the punter.
He could have grabbed the ball and ran with it.
Yes, he was that, and then he just brought his arms back like, I'm not gonna block it. I'm just gonna hit him.
What I felt on that play was that he was scared that he's gonna get kicked. He was scared he was gonna get. I'm telling you,
he was scared of something.
He was scared he was gonna get kicked, so he jumped because he didn't want to run to the ball. He's supposed to go all the way through that ball. He had a big jump.
Yeah, he was dodging. You can tell he was dodging the kick the way his position, his body.
Yeah, he was dodging the kick.
He was dodging the kick.
That ball would have never touched that punter's foot. He was so close. Like he could have just taken it right out of his hands and run it in.
But you know, Sam Mills have blocked a couple of punts before. That's why I was so surprised that he left his feet. I mean, it was like, he's blocked a couple of punts before. So
that's
he
right.
had to take that angle. He had the right angle. All he had to do was just play the ball off his foot. That could have been a momentum changer to me.
I'm telling you, he was thinking about them jewels. I'm telling you. I felt it. I said, that dude thinking about his jewels.
Yeah, he was that high up.
He was up there.
Because he was high from that leg. He saw that kicking leg coming. That dude like, I'm just gonna jump up there.
Like,
yeah.
Well, before we segue into our next topic, I want to cover because some of the keys to the game, and I actually was taking notes. I thought this all happened in the first quarter. It's one of the reasons why I say I think Dallas lost this game in the first quarter. First quarter, DeMarcus Lawrence had a personal foul on 3rd down and 4. 3rd down and 4, which led to a Bills touchdown. That was the first touchdown they got. Then Dallas, on their first drive, Tyler Smith, he negated an 8-yard run by Pollard, was making a 3rd down and 14, which we saw Dak get sacked on that 3rd down and 14. Of course, we talked about Sam Williams running into the punter, roughing the punter. Then Zach Martin get injured after that, right? Okay, Bass move in, next man up. Then I think Dotson, like I said, that was a personal foul. That was the second time he had a head-to-head collision with Dak. And usually they do eject those players out of the game because it's a different when you running into him and had it. But then when you actually lunge, he lunged with his face mask at the top of the crown of his helmet. And I thought he was supposed to be ejected on that. And one of the key plays, they're not talking about a whole lot. One of the key plays to that game was when Donovan Wilson punched that ball out from Stephon Diggs, and they didn't challenge. Buffalo man get back on the ball and run the play. Man, I say, God dang it, Mike McCarthy. Y'all just lost a golden opportunity right there. That ball was definitely a fumble, man.
Yeah.
That was a fumble. That was a fumble. It showed the fumble. That was the key point to the game.
You about to say that's kind of mistakes he makes when we have a away game. He makes those mistakes just like that on away games. He got to start doing.
I got a question. Do we know they had that footage? Because they didn't show that play till after they had run.
No, they didn't know. The coach didn't know.
It was after they had run the play that they replayed it. They didn't show the play before.
Oh no, they didn't want to. Buffalo's smart.
They ran up there and ran that next play really fast.
They ran it real fast, but I could have thought.
Well, I don't think the coaches had a chance to see it.
No, they didn't have a chance to see it.
Well, it was definitely a critical play. I think in the game, one of the keys to the game that could have been a tone setter. But after that, it was just kind of all downhill. And I think Dallas mentally checked out. So which brings me to this, guys. Let us segue into this right quick. Because one of the questions that I did ask also was, right now, as we know, it's shaping up. And I want to know the question, is the Dallas Cowboys a good or a bad road team? And DA, I'm going to come to you first on this, man. I want to know, do you think Dallas is because a lot was being said about this, and I have my opinion about it. I know you all do as well, but I want to come to you first, DA. Tell me what you think, man. Or do you think they're a good road team or a bad road team?
I've been saying it for years, actually. It's a matter of they're a good road team if they're playing somebody who's not good. But if you put them in a situation, and they've yet to prove me wrong on this, if you put them in a situation where they gotta have this game, but it's outside and they gotta go and play. It's just like this Bill games. I don't agree with Book when he say we still in a good position. I'm like, no, y'all needed to kind of win. Y'all needed to probably win out, or at least the majority of those last games because of your road record and your road reputation. I don't think the Cowboys needed to risk going on the road and playing anybody because they're a whole different team when they go out. Like that home cooking in Arlington Stadium or Texas Stadium, AT&T Stadium, you can't beat them boys there. Like, I mean, you know, a couple of teams can, but 99% of the league couldn't go to Dallas and beat them. It's only one or two teams that could. So I think they needed to win that game because I've always thought, and I've thought this way, period, that outdoor teams, you know, I say it all the time. Teams that play outside, they get wet. They get muddy. They get dirty. They used to that stuff. Like he was saying, Dallas didn't want to get wet, didn't want to get on the ground. That comes from playing indoors. So
that's right.
Well, since you brought up Book and responded to Book statement, I'm gonna come to Book on this. Book, what you think? Good road team or bad road team?
Well, man, we have proven that we're not a good road team, but I agree with you. We did need that game before us. You know, we didn't lose to that was the AFC team. So we was good for us in that situation, but we needed to be able to go to Buffalo and win. I agree with you on that, but no, we haven't proven to be a good road team this year, and I mean not with the teams that's over 500. You know, like DA said, you know, the guys that we supposed to be, we go on the road and put them around, but the games that we need to go in on the road and win, we haven't proven to be able to do it.
Right.
Well, TJ, what you think? Good team on the road or bad team on the road?
Oh, I think they make, I'm going to say bad team because until you start to make better decisions, until you start to focus, have a mental to actually know, to actually be, be focused and making sure you don't miss assignments, that you don't, do dumb stuff like get, passing, all these extra penalties. I mean, it's just silly. And then the coach, he don't seem to think quick enough or well enough during these away games too. So to me, it's a whole team breakdown. The whole team is not doing what they need to do on the road so far, because it's funny. Each time it's like you think they would make an adjustment, but the halftime adjustments are not even good. And usually they make good halftime adjustments. But away so far against the Arizona game, they didn't make that good. Against San Francisco, they didn't make a good adjustment. Against even Philadelphia, they did okay on that one because they know Philadelphia very well. So that's a totally different, because that's a team they know very well. Buffalo, they don't know well, and they also didn't know the new defensive coordinator for Buffalo as well, who was changed. Was the new defensive coordinator for Buffalo? I think was changed out. I think it was offensive coordinator.
Actually,
offensive coordinator was changed out.
GM Schwartz, I think GM Schwartz. I'm not for sure.
One of the coordinators switched out, and Dallas wasn't used to what they wasn't ready for what they did because they have a background on.
I know they got a new offensive coach and Joe.
Yeah, it was offensive coordinator. So they switched out the offensive coordinator, and of course he ran some schemes that Dallas hadn't seen before, right? The defense hadn't seen before. So, and they still didn't adjust to it in the second half as well. So to me, their adjustment's not as good, their focus is not as good, and for some reason their enthusiasm and intensity is not as good. And if you can't keep that, I know the home fans pick you up, right? When you look down, home fan pick you up. Now you said something, DA, real quick about playing in the elements. You are right, playing in the elements. Dallas is this cold enough here for you to be all right playing in the elements in Dallas. Because it get cold enough to actually you can play in the morning.
But they don't play in the elements. They don't play in the elements. They don't practice in the elements.
Yeah, but they go outside. They got to practice outside. They got to practice field outside. They'll go outside. So
yeah,
that's
but
not
they
a
in that
problem.
zone when it get cold. So I got to agree with DA on that one, TJ, because when it gets cold, they're in that
dome. But everybody goes outside when they get ready to play somebody outside away or play a away game. They'll go outside, because we always went outside whenever we was going to go play in a cold place. So no matter where I was. So one of the things about that is this, though. It's how hard you hit in practice. You pop in practice. That's what gets you used to tackling. As a defensive player, if you don't pop in practice, A lot of times you grab.
Yeah, I mean, but I think Buffalo basically. This is one of the things when we make our picks. Why? And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but the Cowboys. I was hearing about how they was dumping the balls in the water because they was expecting the forecast for it to be raining, cold, and so forth. And other, they was practicing on all these fundamentals, all these drills, and rightfully so. But at some point in a game like that, you have to have a certain mentality. Now I'm gonna speak on what I think or what my eyes is telling me. Having played in cold, I'm talking about really cold environments. I think a lot of what's going on with Dallas, I don't think is so much physical as it is mental. Because physically, I've seen them go up against the Philadelphia Eagles at home. All the thing we talk about has been at home. But even on the road against Philly, they played pretty much a clean game, and they was physical with them. I think Buffalo, again, there are certain things that happen. I think one, I'm not really sure if they had known that they had already clinched the playoff spot. That I'm not sure about. But I think it was more mental than anything. Because once certain things didn't go their way, that's when you start to see them mentally check out. So when I look at Dallas and ask this question, is the Cowboys a good team or a bad team on the road? Truthfully speaking, I know I didn't give y'all guys this option, but they somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle because, look, bottom line is, did Philadelphia lose on the road? If you was a Philadelphia fan right now, you would say, yes, they lost to the New York Jets on the road. They lost to Dallas on the road, right? San Francisco lost it. No matter how you want to slice and dice it, they lost to Cleveland on the road. So you have good teams losing on the road. Point I'm just simply making with the Dallas Cowboys is history oftentimes with this team anyway, or this organization in the last few years, not just this year, has pretty much been consistent with us. See, right now, to me, I don't even know if it even matters. Yes, we've had a great year, don't get me wrong, because we've had some years where teams came in our house and left us, beating on the carpet mad. Like in the case when we was 13-3 and we won the NFC East when Terrell Owens was playing in Romo and them. 13-3, and we beat the New York Giants that same year twice. And then we lose to them in the playoff. They come to our house. We had home field advantage throughout the playoff, and we still lose at our house. It's the moments. I think Darryl kind of alluded to this. It's the moments, man. Can you trust this team? No, I wouldn't. Can you trust this team to go out and say, we have enough talent, enough skilled guys to go out and win one of these big games, whether if it's on the road or whether if it's in AT&T Stadium. So when I ask this question about if the Cowboys are a good team or a bad team, they somewhere in the middle because can they do it? I think everyone on this platform would say, yes, they have the talent and the ability to do it. But will they do it? That's what you're not going to bet your house on because It's a certain mentality, man. It's a certain mentality with this team. I think they was 500 on the road this year, and the way they was kind of, all of the pundits and the talk shows and what they was talking about. Dallas, we understand they're not scoring as many points on the road than they are at home. We get all of that. But when do they make up their mind? And one of the things they brought out that I really enjoyed listening to was, who is the tone setter for the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, you could talk about, DeMarcus Lawrence but who are the Charles Haleys? These kind of dudes, the Ken Nortons, the Michael Irvins. Who are the real tone setters? This time of the year, man, you got to have them dudes that are tone setters. Like at any cost, man, we don't go out there and handle business, man. And so Dallas, it's going to get real interesting. And I can't wait till we get to the picks because I have a little bit more I want to talk about with the next game that's coming up, the Miami Dolphins. It's going to get real interesting because Jerry is really high on them getting to this Super Bowl. I don't even just think it's the NFC Championship. I know some people say, well, they got to at least get to the NFC Championship for Mike McCarthy to keep the job. Well, I don't know all about that, but I do know this man has high expectations of getting to this dang on Super Bowl, DA. So, chime in on that though, man.
Yeah, I think he's this year. I think he got all his marbles in one bag, if that's even a saying. But he's like, hey, I'm putting all my cards on the table. This is the year. Dak is MVP candidate, especially before this game. Like, this is the year that he's expecting to go to the Super Bowl, and anything less than that is going to be a bust. So they've already got 5 rings, so getting there is not an issue. He's not, this ain't the this is not the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just be happy to get there. Like, no, this is the Cowboys. They've been there. So he wants to win the Super Bowl, not just even.
Absolutely. Well, Book, let me ask you this right quick, Book, because just based on right now, as you see, we got 3 games left. We got I think 3 games of the season left. Yeah, 3 games. Yeah, it's 10-4. Yeah, 3 games left in the season, Book. We're in the 5th spot. Granted, the Eagles have a collapse these last 3 weeks, right? They got Seattle tonight, this evening. How do you see the rest of the season playing out for the Dallas Cowboys? Do you think we keep the 5th seed, and do you think and have the confidence that we can go on the road to win and prove everybody wrong?
I really think we're gonna have a big test this week because Miami Dolphins run the ball very well. They got 2 great running backs, so this is going to be the week for us to go on the road and really say, "Hey, look, this is who we are," and this is going to be the week. This is the week. If we don't do it this week, if we can't, we got to go into Miami and let them know, "Hey, we come to do whatever it takes to win." The defense got to step up and play. We got to stop the running game. Dak got to go in there. Our receivers got to make plays. Like you said, we got to have a Michael. We got to have a Charlie. It got to start this week. And if it don't start this week, it don't even matter because, we're going to beat the Redskins. I don't know if we got the Redskins, the Miami, and who else left?
We got the Commanders.
Detroit.
We got Detroit. And we got Miami.
Detroit going to be a tough game. So, but that'll be at home. I think that's a home game.
I think it's going to be a tougher game against Detroit at home because they play in that same element. They play in a dome, so they're kind of used to playing. I think the Cowboys
with DA. Maybe we might open up the roof on that one.
Yeah, you got to open up the roof, man. Let them do. But then it's going to be about the fans. Oh, the fans might get cold. So it's like why do y'all even have a roof if it's never open?
TJ,
the reason they were so tough. One quick thing. The reason they were so tough back in the day, people said they didn't have a roof. When it snowed on Emmett, it snowed on Michael, it snowed on Troy, it rained on Troy. Them boys were prepared for it. They could go anywhere and beat you.
Right. Well, TJ, before we got to go into our next segment, man, I'm gonna let you get the last word on that, man. Regarding the Dallas is a good team on the road or a bad team, and do you foresee them in the next 3 games? We got 3 weeks before these playoffs start, and we pretty much sitting in that 5th seed. So how do you see it shaping out, Tim?
Man, I think there's an opportunity. When we look at life, we think about things. We have opportunity. We got opportunity to present ourselves and say who we are, right? We get an opportunity to say, okay, this is what I'm made of. I have internal fortitude. I have strength. I can focus. I'm intense. This next game, this Miami game, and it's funny. It's going to be each one of the games. We're going to be feeling the same way by each game. But this Miami game, they have to go ahead and show that, hey, this is not who we are. And I feel, we'll talk about that in the segment when we get to it. But they have to show who they are. They got to show they can focus. They got to show they can't get all these penalties. They got to show that they can overcome adversity. Because right now, every time they have adversity, they get behind a little bit. If they're not at home, they overcome adversity. Away, they get blown out if they have adversity.
That's something to think about, guys. Well, we'll see. We're gonna segue right quick, man, because we got to cover these Texas high school state championship games, man. And we saw PSG, man. Port Neches Groves take down those South Oak Cliff Bears. But before we actually get into that, I want to go in and give a big shout out, man, to these the Duncanville Panthers, as well as those DeSoto. And Book, I got to say this on you. Those DeSoto Eagles. I saw you, Book. Me and Tim, we saw you, baby boy.
We
definitely look here. We definitely saw you, but look here though. I'm gonna need you to drop down and give us 50 though, because you the man with the plan. You could have got us some footage, Book, like this. That's DeSoto going up against Summer Creek, man. Big shout out to DeSoto. They weren't even close. 74-14, Book. You was in the house, man. And then, of course, Duncanville, man, they get a number, man, on North Shore. That's big boy, man. Look here. DeSoto, man, I think they the reigning champions even over Duncanville because they went head to head, man, and we saw what happened, man. when they went head to head with Duncanville, and DeSoto went out there, man. I'm talking about they crushed Summer Creek, man. I mean,
Oof.
Booker, you was there. Booker, what did you, I mean, did DeSoto put the third stringers in or what?
They beat them boys from start to finish. Man, it wasn't even they didn't have opportunity, man. I don't even know how those guys even got to the championship. I mean, that's the way DeSoto made them look like. Why was they there? But DeSoto played, and for the last 3 games, I noticed these kids, man, they played solid football. They played disciplined football. They played all around good football, man. And they wanted it. They've been there, and they play like they've been there. And I
wish we had a lot of time to spend on them, man. I was talking with my son, and it's not there 4 round from the house in Houston, man. He said Summer Creek really wasn't supposed to be there. Everybody had the expectation of the school, Atascocita, but Summer Creek came out. I think it was their first time to the big dance, but they got and they showed them it's a whole nother level. But the game, that they kept talking about was, this team right here, man, been going up against these Duncanville Panthers, man, and them Duncanville Panthers, man, they had something to prove. I like how they came out with all of the chit chat. That's North Shore. And I'm talking about they was talking that talk, man. That go your boy Collins, man. He's on his way to Texas. The Longhorns. Little young receiver Moore. We finna give him that work. He said we finna give him that work.
That boy ran from Nitro. I won a national championship with the court this year.
Oh yeah.
Track.
Oh yeah, on my track team. A lot of these kids on both sides.
Yeah, that game right there, man. I got a little bit more. Let me see something right quick, cause what's the kid name that run the track? The running back, number 29. Every time I remember his name, I wind up forgetting for whatever reason. But I'm talking about this kid will put a foot in the dirt, man. I'm talking about.
Yeah, he good. He run for Swift.
For Swift, okay. Yeah, when he get that way, he put that foot in the dirt. Here you go, right? That's more on his touchdown. One of the runs we kind of thing that seemed to be about a 40-some-yard touchdown on these boys. But I'm talking about, man. I mean, Duncanville came out, man, and they set the tempo. This might be the run touchdown. There he is, right there.
Yeah, he's nice.
Shout out to Duncanville, man.
That kid is nice.
Yeah, he put his foot in the dirt. I'm talking about, man, he gets that weight, man. He gets that weight. But what I want to talk about, South Oak Cliff, right? Because I wasn't at the game, didn't have a chance to really look at the game. And all I kept hearing was Sock fans was talking about there was some cheating going on, about some pass interference. Booker, did you see the game? Were you able to see the game?
Yeah, I saw the game. What I seen, Jabril, now that was a pass interference. It wasn't a pass interference. They actually robbed them on that. But what I see, man, is that they walked that team all the way down, man. They hadn't scored all day, had been kicking field goals. But what changed the game, the onside kick. The onside kick, and that would change the game when we didn't get the onside kick. But the offensive coordinator seemed like to me they came out kind of like, I don't know, they didn't throw the ball. They didn't. It's just like they didn't have a game. They normally coached up better than that. Yeah, I think Jake Todd and them, they just, I don't know, they didn't go in, they seem like they had their head in the game to me.
Yeah, this is some of the highlights from the South Oak Cliff and PSG game, man. And I was hearing what the Sox fans was saying, but look, I think as they like to say, man, numbers don't lie. I had the numbers right here. When you think about a game like this, first of all, South Oak Cliff was leading, I think, 10-9, something like that at halftime.
That's right.
Then they score again, South Oak Cliff, meaning South Oak Cliff, so it scores like 17-9, right? PSG get back in and go for 2. You look up, now South Oak Cliff is down. But when I look at the game, I'm looking at the stats right here. You got PSG, they got picked up 18 touchdowns. I mean, they had, 18 touchdowns. That would have been a lot. 18 first downs to South Oak Cliff, 11 first downs.
That's right.
The total yards was 288 PSG to South Oak Cliff 170. Now you look at the passing. This is what happened to South Oak Cliff. Their quarterback wasn't passing the ball. PSG
wasn't passing the ball.
They had 162 yards passing. South Oak Cliff had 64. They completed 14 of 24, while South Oak Cliff completed only 5 of 12. Then if you look at the rushing yards, they had 126 yards against South Oak Cliff 106. And I saw that young kid from PSG, number 33, last name Wynn. He had like let's see, I think he had about what they say. They had about 13. No, excuse me. He had about 11 carries for 111 yards, something like that. And so what I saw, really, if I'm looking at the numbers, I saw a well-balanced attack by PSG against South Oak Cliff. And I don't think Todd made the necessary adjustments. So all this thing I'm hearing about South Oak Cliff fans talking about how the refs cheated, how they did this and did that, I was gonna kind of get with that. But y'all heard me say I was only 1 week short. I didn't think they was gonna get past Frisco for the same reason, because the ref was gonna get in their business.
That's
I
right.
didn't know they was gonna play the same team that they beat last year, and PSG had something to prove also. I didn't think the Sox would probably lose the game, but I kind of feel like they would have lost to Frisco, so I was only 1 week short though. But Tim, I don't know if you had a chance to catch some of that on the YouTube. I know we had some stuff to do on Friday, but what's your assessment of the game?
Well, I was looking at that game. Well, I did kind of check out a couple of things, and the pass interference, for example, that was a play that actually got barely brushed. It didn't need to be called because he didn't change the movement of the guy, but it was a touch, but it was a slight touch. You can't that call. So that's why people are in an uproar, because the call usually is not made.
Right.
But it came down to 2 drives, really, at the end of the game. When you get those numbers, that long drive at the end of the game where they scored and got their 2 points and had a total of 8 points, that's the drive that actually put them on yardage over South Oak Cliff. Yeah, that's the one that put them over. Otherwise, South Oak Cliff would have out yardage them before that long drive. And then South Oak Cliff got that last drive, and then they didn't do anything with it, So they got shut down, So those 2 drives, sometimes the game is made up. You play the whole game, and then the defining moments are last 2 drives and stuff. That's kind of within this game. And then the other part is this: before the game, just like those guys were kind of cocky playing against DeSoto, South Oak Cliff was kind of cocky going in this game as well too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can see that. You can see that. And to your point, Tim, I saw exactly what you saw. I saw PSG just put a drive together. And and they got down there a couple times and had to settle for a field goal because
that was the first touchdown
twice. You know what I'm saying? But but like you said, when it counted the most, PSG was able to get around that corner. He scored that touchdown. So with DA, I know you was looking at the game a little bit, watching. What's your assessment on it?
I think the teams were more evenly matched than people thought, but it wasn't like. I mean, they were able to move the ball, like you're saying. They ended up kicking field goals. So you'll look at that. You may look at the scoreboard and say, "Oh, it's so and so 3, or it's so and so 6, or it's so and so 9." But you got to remember that team was moving that ball. So it ain't like they were barely making it across and kicking long field goals. It's like they were moving the ball on Sock, just couldn't convert on those final drives where they had to kick field goals. And as far as that call goes, it's just a call that's just not made at that moment. You can technically say may have been interference, but in a game of that magnitude, something I didn't even think, going back to last year's Super Bowl, the last interference call they made on Philly, I didn't even think that should have been called because of the way they had didn't call plays like that the whole game. So I definitely don't think this should have been called against South Oak Cliff, because it wasn't enough in that moment for that ref to have thought, hey, he interrupted his pattern, or he didn't interfere when he touched the guy, and it's just something you overlook all the time.
Call. Yeah, good no call. Well, I'm gonna say this to Book before we have to get into these picks, man, in a minute, second. Book, the next time I see you on there, Book, Book pose, I
What's
see
that?
his Book in the footage though for the replay. I don't even care if you get your recorder. I told Tim. Wait till I talk to him. I say he posing. He right there on the field. Me and Tim was sitting there laughing, but I said, go on, do your thing, little bro. Do your little thing.
Hey, Jabril, you just got to be at the right place at the right time.
You know it. But you know what? I have to put that on your mind because more than likely you're going to be in those situations more so time than probably Tim, myself, and DA. Because you were right there. I was proud to see. I said, look at my boy. I said, the only thing he need to just say the replay.
Right.
Man, you know what? Half of the time I didn't know I was on the tube, but yeah, I'm gonna get better.
And you're on the field, boy. But big shout out to Booker, man. Booker's down there representing. I love it, man. I love it. With DA, I gotta come to you, man. I gotta come to you, man. With these picks.
What you got?
How do we fare, man? I think I was
Tim was the top dog this weekend.
Okay. I'm gonna give him. Okay.
Only
TJ.
TJ only lost 2. He only lost 2 this weekend, and the 2 he lost was the Packers and the
Cowboys.
And the Cowboys. And if he wasn't so in love with him, he would have picked Buffalo. But I get it. Y'all can't not pick him on the show. You know, you don't want the ratings to drop. But he was the top dog. Jabril was making peanut butter sandwiches down in the basement. 4-4. That Jets pick he made that I put on. I didn't know where he was coming from with that pick. When he made it, I was like, the Jets. They don't even.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, my thought process was just it was an AFC East game. They had just won the previous week. They can be spoiled or whatever. You know, you ain't really playing for anything, but you can be spoiled. Just thought, and then Tyreek being out of the game, I just felt like maybe the Jets defense.
Yeah, I get it.
No turnovers, but you know,
it sounds good for you to.
It sounds good in theory.
Like I was taking a lot of chances this weekend. I was like, I'm either gonna be way ahead or I'm gonna be way behind.
Yeah, because I couldn't say about that Bears game. But
the Bears had that game. The Bears had that game. That was a close game.
Jabril in the bank
had that game.
Jabril in the bank.
Yeah, well, go ahead. You said, well, I'm 4-4. You guys are what now?
Jabril 4-4. Me and Book ended up 5-3. My little 2 of my upsets came through, which was Buffalo, which wasn't really upset, and the Bucks. I tried to slide that Bears in there. That's the game I needed to flip the script, but it didn't come through. And Book was 5-3 as well. Me and Book lost the Pittsburgh game. He lost the Packers and the Cowboys along with y'all. So,
and I went against my FC team.
So whatever the total numbers were, me and Tim will probably end up tied because I was up 1. So we probably tied it.
Booker might be 1 over me because we was tied also. It makes
I'm 2 over you.
Yeah, he was 2 up.
1. Took 1. No, we was tied last week, right?
Yeah, go check it out.
Okay, I got to do because I didn't have the information in front of me. Okay,
you down there by yourself, Jabril.
Okay, but so who we have this morning?
You can also try
but picks.
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these teams are just, you know, we picking 8 games. It's hard to get all of those blockbusters, but we can start with the Saints at Rams. Y'all want to pick that one? Y'all probably gonna all pick the Rams.
We just gotta ask you what game are we picking. That's all I need to know.
Saints and Rams.
Okay, I'm gonna take the Rams. Where they playing at?
At the Rams.
Yeah. They playing for yeah.
I'm taking the Rams.
This is gonna be one of my upset picks. I'm going with New Orleans.
Okay. I'm
going with the Rams.
All right. I'm the lone wolf on that one, starting out.
I would have picked the Saints. They playing in the dome, but I'm gonna go with the Rams.
I would have too.
We got Seahawks at Titans.
Seahawks and Titans. I'm gonna take Tennessee.
I got Seahawks.
Seahawks.
They got to come through because they're gonna lose that Philly game.
I wish I could see what they do after the night. Then that could have made, but okay, I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
All right, we got one long
Seahawks.
Jabril. We all else 3 got Seahawks. Jabril got
Titans. Yeah.
Now we got Jaguars going to Tampa Bay with with a lot of playoff implications on the line.
I got Jaguar.
How's that quarterback? Is he healthy?
Yeah, he healthy.
Trevor Lawrence, he played.
Yeah,
I got the
He didn't look
Jaguars.
healthy. He played like he wasn't.
He played like he wasn't.
They going into Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, they going into Tampa Bay, boy.
I just can't believe they lost. I just got to go with the Jaguars. Come on.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. They pulled me out of a lot of. They've been my upset team this recently, so I'm gonna stick with them again this week. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. They trying to win this division.
I'm going with the Bucks too because Jacksonville ain't showing they can win on the road. That's
Correct.
the reason why I'm going with. I watched them. I picked them once on the road and they lost.
Right.
I looked at their schedule. They ain't won nothing on the road. So
right. All right.
Who you got, Book? I don't think Book said.
I'm going with the Bucks.
You going with the Bucks too? All right,
3 Bucks and a Jaguar.
I got the
Cowboys, Dolphins.
Now here what's coming. I'm gonna try to make this real quick. I know we're running short on time here, but I'm gonna go ahead and say the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason why I'm gonna say the Cowboys, not a hard pick. I just think Dallas have always done well after they've suffered a crushing loss. And I also think that this is a different animal because Buffalo is a hard blue collar city. All that there was just a physical game. I don't think they scheme the same. Even though I hear what you're saying, Book, they got 2 great running backs and they coach McDaniels. He do a lot of fluff too. But I think Dallas will bounce back this week on the road to prove everybody that they can win on the road. So I'm going with Dallas.
I'm going with Dallas.
Okay. I got Dallas too because I think they're gonna actually rebound playing against the Dolphins, even though Dolphins is formidable. But I'm gonna pick Dallas for this one.
Dolphins. Easy pick.
Okay.
Easy pick. It take me long at all make that pick. Browns coming to Texans, coming to Houston.
I'm gonna take the Texans.
Is it?
I'm gonna take the Browns.
Hurt? Is he playing?
I don't know yet. We can revisit this one if y'all want, because I don't want y'all picking no game thinking the starter is playing and he ain't. So we can come back later on it if y'all want. When we find out if he's playing. You know he didn't play this weekend.
Yeah,
All right, make it long. Let's go.
Y'all want me to come back on that one later in the week?
No, somebody I picked. I got the Texans. This ain't no Rockets. Come on, who
I got the Browns.
Browns, Tim.
They got a backup quarterback too, so I'm taking Texas.
Texans, all right.
Yeah.
Who you got there?
I'm gonna go with the Browns upset.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
So how many we have left now?
I think we picked 1.
You can also try
2.
plugging it back in.
Pick 3, 4, 5. We picked 5, 6.
I didn't keep count.
Okay, we'll just we'll go real quick on these because a lot of them are mismatch games. Niners and Ravens. That Super Bowl.
I'm gonna take the Ravens. I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Super Bowl.
You got to Baltimore. It's in Baltimore.
No, it's
in San Francisco.
It's in Levi.
I'm taking the Ravens.
Oh, it's at the Gucci Stadium.
That Gucci.
Yeah, it's at Gucci Stadium. Okay.
Okay, y'all look at that. Okay.
I see 50.
Man, we see that. We good.
Y'all all this feeling. Come on, take who you go. See, Booker waiting on y'all.
Y'all know who I got.
Go.
He got 49. I already know he gonna take. Look at where you make that complicated.
I got 49.
You already know.
I got 49.
49ers.
Yeah, at home. I got 49ers.
All right, we got to throw this one in there, this last one, just because.
So who you got, DA? You got the Ravens?
Come on, man. I got the Niners. Come on, bro.
All right, I got.
Colts at Falcons, last one.
All right, we'll throw the last one in there then.
Colts at Falcons.
Colts and Falcons? I'm through.
I got the Falcons.
Book got the Falcons. I got the Colts.
I picked the Colts last week to win, but they going away. I'm taking Falcons.
I'll take the Colts to go in there and beat them.
Come on with me, DA.
I got the Colts.
Man.
I'm with you. I'm down with you.
All right, good. All right, good job, man, fellas. Good job, fellas. All right, but last but not least, they get these shouts out, man. I'm gonna go first, man. No, you know what, Tim? Go ahead and go first, Tim.
He did that for a reason. But guess what? I got you total surprise. I'm shouting out Nebraska won a volleyball team, the girls, who actually made it to the finals. They've been an inspiration to Nebraska.
Okay. I saw that.
Yeah, but they lost to Texas, so that's a shout out to the Longhorns as well too, because they won. But also I'm shouting out Nebraska football team because we just got the #1 quarterback recruit this year, Dylan Raiola. So yeah, that's a big one for us. We got the #1 rated quarterback coming into the season, so that's big time. So shout out.
Okay, who you shouting out, DA?
Sorry.
Man, I'm gonna
Wait a few minutes and
I'm gonna shout out this Buffalo offensive coordinator, man, for coming up with a game plan. Whether he definitely thought he was just gonna do this the whole game, or whether he realized that, hey, this is working and I'm not gonna get away from it. To hold his MVP quarterback to 15 attempts against the Cowboys, I got to give him a shout out for that.
All right, big time. What about you? What about you, Book? Who you shouting out?
Man, I'm gonna shout out to you, Jabril, man. Happy related birthday, man, to my boy Jabril.
Man, real talk, boy.
Our host, man.
Real talk.
I want to send a shout out to my boy, man.
Yeah, much
Happy
love,
birthday.
man. Much love. Much love. But I tell you what, I was saying that, man, because I'm shouting out too, man. Everybody came through to the big bash, man. Everybody
Right.
came through to the big bash, man. We did that, man. We did that.
I saw some pictures. I saw that one.
We did that.
I saw that
Hutch
one.
was in the house.
I'm shouting
I
out.
see Hutch was in the house.
I saw that one.
Man, and supported, man, and showed love.
Is that Ted in the bow tie?
Yeah, that was big time, man.
Ricky Robinson in the house.
Yeah, man. That was big time, man. I was proud everybody, man, came out to the like I said, the birthday bash, as well as, man, the cultural celebration, because it wasn't just about me. And I was telling everybody, we're not gonna make it just about me, it's about us, man. For us, by us. And everybody came out and supported the show. I know people was wanting to be there, man, like you guys. We try to do that show. I missed you guys there, man, but I was so glad that we was able to have that run through just to see and get an idea. So it lets me know it only sets I say a double affirmation that the team that God blessed me with, man, with you brothers, man. It only just gave me another affirmation of something that I already knew. And believe me, you got to be real careful sometimes of what you ask for. You give opportunities, man. Because the dude that think he could come take book job, I was like, nah, I don't know. That ain't gonna happen, bro. That is not gonna happen, man. That is not gonna happen. So, man, another great show, episode 16, guys. And we'll be back in the barbershop real soon. We got the holidays coming up. We'll get together on that, man. But until the end, like I say, man.
No, Christmas is Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday. Everybody be safe. I can only say season greetings to you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
it's all about the love that this time of year brings. So I hope that everybody's safe and sound with the families, man.
Happy holidays.
Good job, man.
So,
Yeah.
So that's the day we shoot the show on.
Yeah, I know. That's why I know we're gonna pivot back with it. I shouldn't use that word loosely because somebody else have that show, but this is the replay. so yeah, we're gonna be back on in a minute, man. So like I say, until the end, man, like I say, be safe. We're gonna talk again throughout the week. Hopefully we'll see what this game gonna go on tonight. And hopefully, the Eagles have a meltdown. We'll see, man. So until the end, man, God bless each and every last one of you brothers, man, your families, man. And we're gonna be back at this thing again, man. And as I love to always say, man, tough time don't last forever, but tough people do. Always keep God first, man.
Amen.
Happy holidays, and I'm throwing them bones.
Peace.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, everybody.
There you go.
Thank y'all for watching us.
Replay.
Replay.